the eye will miss terrible lines, but the ear cannot forgive them. So once you've actually heard yourself, you're like, oh no, that needs to change, or that idea, I get what I'm trying to do, but I haven't done it yet. Just every single take, just chip away at it a bit more, like try and reveal a bit more of what this like image wants to be. I had really enjoyed, same as Fraser, this like the process of hanging out and just getting to know each other in a stress-free, organic way. It was never engineered. It was just we met, we got on really well. We tried hanging out in the studio. He wrote this beautiful song. It just felt, I felt kind of safe with Fraser's expertise and inspired by the way that you work and think, Fraser. So then I was in a bit of a quandary with a record that I'd made. It was set to be my next album, and I'd written the whole thing. It's 12 tracks done, and we were set to record it. And just something about it didn't feel right. I couldn't work out what it was. And I thought, I've got this opportunity to consult with somebody who's got such an expansive perspective when it comes to music. And because of our friendship, I felt like it would kind of be okay to say, Fraser, can I just ask for your advice? Like, as somebody who I respect and who I think respects what I'm doing. So I just called him up and was just like, Fraser, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's happened. I can't work out why, but something isn't right. And in previous years, album cycles, I might have just like bulldozed through that feeling just out of the desperation to make music because I love doing it so much. But I wanted to be more intentional about this album. And Fraser was like, yeah, just come down. Like, why don't you just come down and play some stuff? Let's just have a chat. So I made the journey to this beautiful place, and then I played Fraser some music, and what you said, sometimes Fraser says these things and they go deeply into my soul and resonate, and Fraser's like, I can't even remember saying that. Like, I'll be like turning it over in my head for weeks and finding like deep solace in it. But you said to me, I don't think this is right for right now. Just from knowing you and knowing where you're at and hanging out with you, like I don't think we should unravel it, unpick it. I don't think this is right for right now. Why don't we just start again and just see what comes out of this moment? And I was like, yeah, definitely up for working on just something fresh just to kind of change the energy, see what happens. And the next thing we knew, we were like 3 days in, and like we'd been working in the way that I love to work, which is just to create without trying to lead it. Just follow it. Just generate ideas. Allow yourself to be, as free and as long-winded and as like cliche, whatever. Just lyrically, I mean, you just let yourself go. Don't listen back to anything. So you work on something until the point it's just about holding its shape, and then you move on and you work on something else until it's about kind of in the same place, like maybe like 30% away from being something you would call maybe finished, and then move on. By the time we got to the end of that week, I think we did that for 3 or 4 days. So by the time we got to Thursday, we had like 12 songs. Not songs, but demos, ideas, things that felt like they're at that stage now where you've been following. Now you could start to lead. The idea has told you where it wants you to go, and now you can start telling the idea where you would like the idea to go. So we just found ourselves in this position of like, wow, there's a few songs here that feel really strong. One of them is Statues. We had quite a few. We generated like the foundation of the record in those first few days, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Forever was in there as well on that initial thing. And I think that the way that we both like to work is super quick at the initial process, and everything's set up here all ready to record. So we were working with my engineer Scott Barnett at the time, who's in that initial stage was very instrumental in making the flow and really helping the flow be as smooth as possible in terms of the recording. And we'd worked on lots of stuff together, and Scott then went on paternity leave, and that's when Louis came in, and the baton was passed on to him. But yeah, that first week I just remember feeling that, okay, you're you were like a furnace of creativity, and literally running into the booth, putting something down, coming out, saying, "No, that's not quite right," and then we'd be working on the piano, and then we'd be scrapping the piano. And I mean, you said we come up with 12 ideas, which is mind blowing, but maybe there were more processes that didn't even make the 12 ideas. I mean, it was just as if like the stars had aligned, and we'd found what it was that had meant to be for this record.
Yeah.
This episode is being supported by Tape It, the iPhone app made specifically for musicians. If you, like many of our guests, use voice memos, then switching to Tape It is an obvious choice. And now, Tape It has layering. This means you can record over your voice notes, try out top lines, stack harmonies, build up instruments, jam with yourself, and so much more. Layering is such an exciting addition to Tape It's long list of features to help you stay creative and organised, including the ability to record straight from your lock screen, set markers, add notes, and add photos of settings. You can easily import your old voice notes, sync to the cloud, and create shared playlists with co-writers and bandmates. So, head to the link below to install Tape It and use the promo code TAPENOTES to receive a whopping 20% off Tape It Pro. And now, back to the episode.
The way that I like to write is the first draft. You just get it on the page, and then I'll go in the booth, record it, listen back, and it's like at the point that you speak it out loud, that's when like the eye will miss terrible lines, but the ear cannot forgive them. So once you've actually heard yourself, you're like, oh no, that needs to change, or that idea, I get what I'm trying to do, but I haven't done it yet. And like, I remember you being like, I've not really worked with a lyricist who's like chipping away at it so much. Like I would keep just every single take, just chip away at it a bit more, like try and reveal a bit more of what this like image wants to be. And coming from you that's worked with so many different like lyricists and vocalists and performers, it was exciting for me to think, oh well, there's something of my own that I can bring from all my years into this space, which felt like such an elevation of where I've been at. But I felt it was like an exchange of kind of creative personalities that it just felt harmonious, you know.
I think the distinction for me was that you mentioned that I've worked with some amazing lyricists. That a lot of the greats make all those edits away from the studio, and you may wait for a day or 6 months even for the lyricist to come in, and then it becomes like a performance. The thing that set you apart was the way it felt so inclusive, in that it wasn't this fait accompli, which was, I'm going to go in the booth and record this. And obviously everyone's up for comments, but it was funny because you had your laptop, and it almost me of like the novelist in you. It almost should have been like an old typewriter that you were just banging away at the keys, and then something would come, and then you'd put it down, and then you'd be like, no, that's not right. And it was almost as if you were screwing up the paper, and by the end of the day there was just paper all over the metaphorical, all over the studio, and all these crossings out and all this, but to get to somewhere. So to be party to that, and for us to have this creative union in every part of the record, it was exactly the same as the music, because we'd come in and you'd say, how about we try this, and maybe I was listening to the piano, it wasn't quite right, Kae, you were staying here in the cottage, so we'd go out and have dinner, but then you'd retreat to the cottage and be listening to stuff, and sometimes wake up in the middle of the night listening to the work tapes essentially that we'd bounced out, and then we'd come in and it maybe be like, you'd say, this isn't right at all, let's start again, or let's refine this, or let's not have the piano in the intro, or let's have some bass here, and so it was as we were as close really as any artist and producer could be.